Hey Patriots, it's Mrs. Harris. One more time, I'm here to talk to you about our learner profile of the month, Communicator. As we've been talking about, communicators share their ideas and listen to others. And we've been taking a look at how authors and illustrators can communicate a story. We took a look at David Weisner's book Tuesday and enjoyed how he, as an author and an illustrator, shared a story mostly through pictures. Then we listened to B.J. Novak's book, The Book with No Pictures, and how he told a funny story through words. Today we're going to take a look at one more way that an author communicates a story with one of my very favorite characters, Skippyjon Jones. Judy Schachner is the author of this book, and she takes this little character, Skippyjon Jones, on many different adventures. Now, Skippyjon Jones is actually a Siamese cat. Skippyjon Jones has a wild imagination, and he likes to go into his closet and take imaginary trips into different places. When he becomes his little Chihuahua self, El Skipito Fresquito, he speaks in another language, in Spanish. Judy Schachner does an amazing job of communicating the story of Skippyjon Jones both in English and in Spanish. Let's enjoy the story. Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath." The lecture went on and on, as usual. "You've got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, not a moose, or a goose, not a rat, or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed.
"Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and 1 or 6 times I land on my head."
And on his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippyjon Jones shot past his bedroom mirror.
"Holy guacamole!"
exclaimed Skippyjon Jones.
"What was that?"
And so up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said,
"My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua."
Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice.
"My name is Skippito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeed-o."
Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jazabelle, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch.
"Can Skippy come out of his room now?"
asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon Jones wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust.
"Ay, caramba! Who goes there?"
asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. Who are you?
I am El Skippyjo, the great sword fighter, said Skippyjon Jones.
Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up.
Why the mosquito, dude?
Asked Paquito Tito.
I go incognito,
Said Skippito.
Do you like rice and beans?
Asked Pinto Lito.
See, I love mice and beans,
Said Skippito.
He might be the dog of our dreams,
Whispered Rosalita.
Perhaps,
Said Tia Mia.
If he knows the secret password.
Leaning toward Don Diego, El Scapito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear.
Ah-chapichu!
Bless you, said Don Diego.
Gracias,
said Scapito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego.
Yip, yippee, yippito! It's the end of Alfredo Bazito! Scapito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumbalito.
Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. And then they took a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious bees' nests. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumbalito for Scapito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos so great that one could hear a whisper drop.
Alfredo Bazito,
whispered the crowd.
El blimpo Bumbalito Bandito. See?
said Paquito Tito.
The bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans,
cried Scapito, outraged.
See?
Paquito continued.
Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too. And now he comes for us,
Paquito added.
¿Por qué?
asked Capito.
Because we are full of beans too.
Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles.
Huh?
asked Capito.
The dude just wants his beans back,
said Paquito Tito.
And you are the dog for the job.
Me? asked Capito. Then all of the chimichangos turned towards Scapito, the great sword fighter. But poor Scapito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions.
Vamos, Scapito, or it is you the bandito will eato,
they cried. Scapito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said,
My name is Scapito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito.
But Alfredo Bazito flew straight for Scapito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face.
Ole frijoles!
cried Scapito as he thrust his sword in the air. Suddenly, pop went the bandito, landing on Scapito's sword, and quicker than one could say Chihuahua's cheese and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bazito, the Bumbalito Bandito. Then all the dogs burst into song.
Yip, yippee, yippito! Our hero is El Scapito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos.
But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Bangito, crashito, papito, scapito! Just in time to see Skippyjon's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head.
Skippyjon Jones!
Everyone cried.
Hola, muchachitas,
he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippyjon and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippyjon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed.
Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that.
Say goodnight, Skippyjon Jones, called his mama.
Buenas noches, mis amigos,
said Skippyjon Jones. I just love that story. I love how Judy Schachner communicates using both English and Spanish to make Skippyjon such a fun character. Now, we're all done with the 3 books that I chose to celebrate this month's learner profile. So, I have a challenge for you. I want you to find your absolute favorite word, and I want you to communicate it in as many different ways on an index card. Let me show you what I mean. I absolutely love the word fancy. So I'm going to write it on my index card in a fancy way. So that shows you what the word fancy means. And I'm going to show you some different ways to communicate the word fancy. I can decorate it with a fancy border. I could even write it in a different language, like Spanish. I learned that in Spanish, fancy is lujosa. I could also draw a picture. Leopard print to me is fancy, and so are high heels. We've also been seeing some of our friends from the middle school communicate in sign language, so I can communicate fancy in sign language. It's kind of hard to draw the word fancy, but I can spell it for you. F-A-N-C-Y. So my challenge for you is to find your favorite word. Find something really cool, and I want you to communicate it in as many different ways on an index card. We're going to create a new bulletin board in the hub to display all your words and the way that you communicate them in lots and lots of different ways. You can use images, you could use emojis, sign language, different languages, use drawings, write the words so we can see it and what it means. I'm really looking forward to seeing all the awesome words that you and the ways that you communicate them. Good luck, Patriots.